Okay, hey, it's Kev from JJ Hat Center and from Hats and Guitars. That's our little group here. It's growing quickly. We're getting a lot of subscribers fast, 10, 15 a day or so, and thank you. I'd like to thank everybody also for their PayPal donations. We got two really nice ones yesterday. You guys know who you are, and thank you from the bottom of my heart out to you. That's how I'm able to sort of keep the show going, keep the lights on, despite the fact that I'm not really working at JJ's now. I'm on a hiatus. I will be back. I've been out for 1 year, pretty much making videos from the house, promo videos for JJ's, and running the house here, you know, getting my son to school, doing his homework. He's in summer school now, and doing family stuff while my wife pretty much works 24/7. She's doing a PhD program, working full-time, and full-time mommying too. So it's been tough, but we're making our life work, and things have been good. Thanks to you guys, especially too. It helps a lot. Subscribing helps, giving me thumbs ups and things like that really helps, just to keep the show running and keep the lights on and keep us, the momentum going. There's like a graph of views and how much we're doing. We want it to keep either going straight or going up, just not declining, which is what's been happening. There were a couple of really nice donations. There's been a whole bunch of them, but yesterday we got two the same day, which is really cool. I think that's the second time that happened. We're not doing Patreon right now because I'm not exactly sure how I want to work things out. But at this point, if you just feel like you like old Kev and his little rinky-dink show that he's got here with the hats, it is probably the most informative, the best hat program online. I'm working at New York's oldest, biggest hat shop for 26 years, 25 years, and then 1 year here making videos and stuff at home. So I've got the experience under my belt, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've gotten myself out of some good problems, and I'm sort of the guy who, if you've got an issue with your hat and nobody knows what the heck to do, I'm the guy who can make like the impossible happen, So yeah, humbly speaking, I've definitely done this long enough to kind of know what's going on with fine men's hats. Now, there is like a PayPal donation number. If you go to the description thing, like right below where you see the little window with me, there's it says description, that's it's got a little thing that says for helping Kev out. If you like what I do, give us some money. And that's the reason why I've gotten a better microphone. If you notice, the sound is clearer lately. Today I've got the air conditioner on, so it's a little bit, there might be a little bit of white noise and stuff, but the camera has improved. It's not pixelated anymore. It's not all washed out and white and, like, doesn't look like a 1970s Polaroid anymore. There's some good clarity and, three-dimensional quality to it, and things are improving. We've got a steamer going now, and we're going to start getting into some more crafts like shaping hats, stiffening hats, and all that stuff. Now, I'd like to go over a few of those things, like how to stiffen a hat, but let's also talk about how do you choose a hat for yourself, okay? That's like a really good kind of a thing. How do you choose a hat for yourself? All right. Now, a lot of people come in and they just don't know where to start, because when you walk into JJ Hat Center, it's like two sides of just hats, just these rows and rows, like that library of hats. And, where the heck do you start? It all looks the same, and there's just so much of it. you don't know where to begin. You kind of want to look at everything, but at the same time you feel a little embarrassed and you don't even know where to start, and you can't open the cases yourself. So it's up to us to kind of guide you in a good way, and to be fair and let you know about everything. But it's also up to us to eliminate the stuff that's not for you too. First thing you do is you get your size down, okay? Now, if you're in a hat shop, the best thing to do is to try a few hats on. Try on some Stetsons. If you're buying Westerns, try on Westerns. If you're buying dress hats, try on dress hats. Stetsons run a little bit erratically. They run true to size, but some of them come in big. It's like that. So it's kind of like their sizes run correctly, like very accurately. It's a good hat to judge size, but like every few hats there's some that run big. It's like that. So when you take out a 7.5 Whippet or 7 1/4 Whippet and it doesn't fit, I could go upstairs and grab a couple of more, and one of those or both of those will feel a little different. So it sounds funny, like, yeah, well, you're saying that they fit, but they don't fit accurately, but they kind of do. It's you know, it's not a brand where everything runs a little bit big or everything runs a little bit tight. You know, like Borsalino, you have to go up a size. They all run a little bit tight. If it's got a leather band in it, you go up one size. Stetson is accurate, but like I said, a few of them will just be like a little bit big. It's not a big deal. You know, going a little bit big is usually not a horrible thing. You got a little extra space, you could pad it. Which gets me to this. When you're measuring, you're going to measure a few times. You'll measure like 5 times or 7 or 10 times, write them down, see what you get. Because they'll vary, and you want the average. Get a tape measure, go at the biggest part of your head, which is this bone, the brow bone, okay? Get the tape. If you don't have a tape, just use a string and measure the string at the end. Bring it over the brow bone, go right over the ear, okay? Over the ear, you could touch it or graze it, or you could go just super, super close to it, okay? So you're doing at the temples and at the brow, the widest part of the head, the brow bone here, that, you know, that AP thing? Okay, you go on there. Okay, now, the tape or the string must feel as tight as you like your hats to fit. This part is where everybody screws up. Do you pull it really tight? Do you pull it just a little tight? Do you pull it just snug so it's barely touching? What you do is you try to close your eyes and imagine how you want your hats to fit. So it's usually like, you know, snug so that everything is touching, but not so tight that you're pulling it and it's like making a mark on your head. You don't want to dig it in. There's a certain flexibility to your skin, so you're going to get like different measurements. Measure a few times, average it out. Always round out to the bigger number, okay? Most people don't really fall dead on a size. It's rare that you're really a 57. You're going to be, you know, a tad below 57, a little above a 57. And that's why I tell you to measure a few times to check it out. Whatever you are, don't count on it stretching and say, okay, I'm 57.2, 57 1/4, oh, let's just get a 57, it'll stretch. Don't do that. Go up to the next one and you won't run into problems that way. If your hat is too tight, you could get it to stretch. It's gonna hurt the whole time you're breaking it in, and when it stretches, it's gonna sit like this. It stretches and the hat's not correct. So go up to the next size. You go up to the 58, you're 57.2, get a 58, and then all it is on the inside of your leather band on the inside there, right behind your head. Flip up the band, and inside there put a little foam. There's something that we sell. It's called a cap benu. I think I have one here. We sell these things on the website. They come in a package. It's got like a little yellow paper on the back that you peel off, like a sticker. You peel off the backing, and what I generally do is I cut it shorter. You know, maybe I'll cut this much off. I'll use like 6 inches. I'll put it underneath the leather, behind your head in the back, and then I'll try the hat on. If it's still big, then I'll take the extra piece, okay, and then I'll cut that in half to 2 little inches, and I'll put those on each side so that I've got my 6-inch piece, an inch on one side, an inch on the other. It's good to have that in case you ever want to loosen up your hat. You could take those little inches off, and then you're left with 6 inches of padding. It makes your hat adjustable, okay? So if you get to 57 and allow it to stretch, your hat's not adjustable. It's just always too tight. It's either very tight or a little tight. If you get to 58, you can literally just adjust it, get it the way you want. You're wearing a ponytail one day, you know, you could loosen it. Your hair just got cut and you've got a little short haircut there, you know, you could add some more padding to it. But it's movable, adjustable, you can work with it, and you'll never have problems. When you go too close to the line, it just sucks. Everybody does that at the beginning, and then they say, you know, the next time I'm not going to do it, and they do it again, and you wind up with just all these hats that are too tight, and it's worthless. You get red lines, it feels bad, you don't want to wear it. Go up bigger, pat it down. You could buy these things for $5. It's called Sweatband. If you go to jjhatcenter.com, just look for this in the accessories section, Sweatband. You could also buy them on Amazon. It's called a Cap Ban Nu, C-A-P-B-A-N-N-U, 3 words. They'll sell like a little box of them, you know, so it's, I don't know what it is, 20, 30 bucks or something, where JJ sell them individually for $5. 2 of them is good. You get one, you know, you could get another one for the future. It's good for sizing down hats. I like to cut them and use little pieces of them too so I can adjust them. I put those inches on the sides. All right, now we talked about size. All right, you got your size. Next, you want to talk about something like brim size, color, but let's assume you already know if you're going Western hat or dress hat. You probably know where you want to be with this. I'm sure you do. You know, if you're shopping for a hat and you know you kind of know where you want to be already, you probably say, you know, I really always wanted a cowboy hat. I'm gonna go get one. Or you're saying, you know, I want a fedora. So you know what section you're going to be in. Let's assume you're in the fedora section. What you want to do is think about brim size first. Okay, so what I've got here is a 2 3/8 inch brim. 2 3/8 is classic. It's like the classic kind of big brim, regular fedora. Okay, huge oversized is going to be a 3-inch brim. And then a shorter kind of a Sinatra understated gentleman's hat will be a 2-inch brim. So figure 2, 2.5 is big like this, 2 3/8 or 2.5, and then really oversized is going to be a 3. It's definitely oversized, not just big. There are things shorter like the Stetson Asher is 1 3/4 inch brim. That's a very short brim. I like a 2 for short, and I like a 2 3/8 to 2.5 for a big brim. And then when you're going really, really big to 3, it's something else. It's a kind of a modern look, a fashion statement, you know. If you're a real big guy, it can work for you too. But that's the 2 major brim sizes, is 2 3/8 or 2.5, and the 2-inch. I'll show you a 2. A 2 is kind of, I think of that as being a Sinatra hat, essentially. Take this one. All right. This is, we're going to be selling these in the fall. This is the Borsalino Antonio. It's got the boxy vintage crown. It's got a Sinatra cut. So let's go now from a 2 3/8 inch brim to a 2. So there's your 2-inch. Got a little attitude, a little Sinatra, not, you know, it's understated. 2 is small, but it's not micro small. It's just right, I think, for most gentlemen that are looking for a hat that's understated, elegant, classic, but not not overdone. You don't want to look like a gangster. You don't want people making fun of you, like, oh, he's got his 40s hat on, you know. This will look correct on you. A 2-inch is your regular, you know, gentleman with a, you know, a short haircut. You dress kind of nicely, and you want to wear a hat that's going to look dapper, smooth, and give you that kind of cool, you know, little Sinatra swagger. This is it. You know, this is the one, the 2-inch brim. The Antonio is incredible. We'll be getting Antonio is great because you can roll these, put them in your pocket. You could also reshape them on the fly without using any steam. You could take this, turn it into a teardrop just by teardropping, and just by bringing the back down like that. You know, and you stick your head in. That's all you got to do. Or you could even pork pie it. It's not hard to do, you know. You want to pork pie it. It's almost like magic, these things. They're incredible. So only, you know, these are the only hats they got to do that, are the Borsalinos from the higher series, the Quality Superior, or some very nice vintage hats. Hats in the old days were made like this, you know. Good vintage hats. You can reshape on the fly, you can pork pie it, you can center crease it, or you can teardrop it, just depending on what you want that day. As long as you just pop it back when you're finished, it should stay that way. It's not going to stay pork pie unless you pinch it really hard or if it gets wet in that pork pie shape. So 2-inch is something you should consider. I think it's a really good gentleman's hat. If you're a guy like me who dresses a little funky, presents himself as a little bit more, you know, I don't know, like a rock guy or a cool guy, you got a little style, a little hip hop, or, you know, you want to just be a little bit funkier, you know, you could probably wear different brims, 2 3/4, 2 3/8, or a 3. But if you're going for a standard gentleman's look, I think 2 is a really good way to start. And 2 3/8 inch, if you don't think you like the short brim or the medium brim look, this is a 2 3/8 inch. It's a very classical kind of a hat. We have a hat called the Seville, which is a hat that's custom made in Spain that looks like this, and we'll be getting the Borsalino line in soon in fall. The Classico, the Como, those are hats that also have this look. I have a brown hat on the wall there called the Stetson Temple. The Temple is a 2.5 inch, but what it is, it's 2 3/8 on the sides, just like this green hat, and 2 5/8, a little bigger in the front. So it gives you a little fuller look than this, but not much. Stetson's cornerstone hat, their classical hat, their signature hat is like the Temple. The Temple is their, you know, main hat, and then their main teardrop hat is the Whippet. The Whippet and the Stratoliner. Stratoliner is a teardrop with a thin ribbon and a thin binding, and the Whippet is a teardrop hat with a big thick ribbon and a thick binding. So it looks more nostalgic, more 40s, where the Stratoliner is taking the teardrop look and giving it more of a Western package. I'm into both. I like 2-inch, 2 3/8 inch. I even do 3-inch. A lot of times it depends how my hair is too. You know, sometimes I do the long hair thing. Other times I do the short hair thing. You know, like I'm just like that regular short hair dad guy. And I like to go smaller in the brim. I wear 2. When my hair is down and I'm doing that rock thing, then the 3-inch brim, like that lavender one, works. Well, you know, the really big brim here or this blue one, they work fine. Brim size is really important. It's going to give you your whole look. Brim size and color. So think about brim size a lot. 2 inches, remember, it's that gentlemanly kind of little attitude, clean cut Sinatra thing. It looks great with a suit, dressed up. Or you could just flip it up and wear it with a t-shirt and shoot some pool, and you look real cool, you know. It's a good hat, you know. It's kind of got a cool, laid-back, Sinatra, gangstery kind of look. The 2 3/8 and the 2.5 inch brim look more like the classic fedora, like this bigger brim fedora look. It's more nostalgic. It's more, you know, I don't know, the swing era or something like that, or a gangstery looking era. But it's laying it on a little thicker. It's less understated, and it's more, you know, here's my fedora. It's more nostalgic. Here I'm doing it full out. If you want to take that look and polish it, lay it back a little bit, go with the Stratoliner with the thin ribbon. It gives it an earthier look, you know. It's like an earthier, semi-Western, kind of like a crossover look, but it's basically just a fedora with a teardrop. Now, think about your brims. Also look at your face, okay? And think about how it's going to look on your face. You know, for me, I look very good in the short brim when I have my short hair. When I have the bigger brims like this, it looks better with my longer hair stuff, even with the ponytail. So, you know, think about it. A lot of this is going to be like a taste kind of a thing. Most of it is you looking in the mirror and asking yourself, you know, do I really want this look or that look? I'm going to say 90% of it really is going to be that. You're going to tell yourself, I want this look. This is the look I've been thinking about putting out. I want to go after it. So, yeah, a lot of it is going to be taste. So, you know, ask yourself, you know, go with your gut. If you feel like the 2 3/8 inch thing is what you've always wanted to try, cool. If you think it's a little bit corny and a little bit overdone and you want to try a 2 inch because it looks more authentic, a little bit more gentlemanly, and I'll tell you right now, when like a 60-year-old guy comes in and he wants a hat, generally, you know, the 2 inch is a little bit more what most guys wear as a dress hat. The bigger brims is it's a little younger, stylish kind of thing. It's like bringing some of that nostalgia in a cool way. So I think the bigger brims like this are kind of a younger, more fashionable look. They also can look a little bit more earthy and outdoorsy, like the Stetson Temple 2.5 inch brim in brown. It's got the Indiana Jones look. Bigger brims can look earthier, outdoorsy, or more nostalgic. They look younger. Shorter brims look more understated, more dressy, less, there's just less there, so it's just like short and sweet, less is more. Looks really cool. The Blues Brothers look like a short brim black hat is great. Also a short brim in gray is fantastic. You know, that's the Sinatra look. I think they're really cool to wear, you know, like blazers, or, you know, like a leather blazer, brim up, brim down. They're great to wear with an overcoat. Sometimes the bigger brim can just look a little overdone on some people. You have a smaller face, or a smaller guy, etc., etc. So ask yourself. Now, as far as color, color is important. Black is always going to look very serious. It's going to look businesslike. We're going out. It's an evening look. Gray will give you the same look. It'll go with your black and your charcoal and your navy stuff better. Gray is going to be really nice. Gray with the black bands will go fantastic with your black coats and stuff, your charcoals and stuff. Charcoal hats are out there, but they're less popular. A lot of people do the lighter gray and the black, you know, they stock them. Brown is a good color. Brown is a color that kind of will match a lot of things, and it's just a cool vintagey look. Let's talk about color. Color is important now. Color is also going to give your hat the whole vibe. You know, doing a hat, a classic fedora like this in different colors will portray or put out different images to the world. There's certain stereotypes that are associated with them, that people are going to kind of prejudge, I guess. For instance, a big black fedora, a fedora with a wide brim in black, is instantly going to read as rabbi, Jewish, that kind of thing, like a religious hat. I personally love black hats, but I don't like wide brim black fedoras. I just don't really like them. Some people look really hip in that kind of thing, and you know, it's cool. Other people look very good in a black hat. I think black is a tough color. A short brim black hat is gonna be way easier, like a Stetson Saxon, or a anything with a 2-inch brim, for instance, or a 1 3/4 inch brim, or anything like that. It'll give you a snappy kind of a you know, a black modern look. But you know, for instance, the Blues Brothers, they had a black hat on. It's a bold look, but when you start going into the wide brim black hats, it's going to put out more of a religious hat look, which is fine if that's your thing, if that's the look that you want to put out. You may be a religious person, and that's part of your culture, it's part of your family's history, and you know, your dad wore it, you wore it, and you always will wear it, and you wear it proudly, and you love it. But if that's not the look you're going for, then you're going to be prejudged as, like, you know, cool rabbi hat there, dude, you know, and you're like, oh boy, you know. So a lot of people make the mistake of you know, they wear a lot of blacks, charcoals, things like that, and they just walk in and they say, give me a black hat. Where more, I'm going to say more common, the gray hat with the black bands will work very well with your dark stuff. You have a black overcoat, a navy overcoat, a charcoal overcoat, all that kind of stuff. You just get like a gray hat, it'll be fantastic. It'll work very well. Another color that's really nice is taupe. There's a particular taupe that Borsalino uses. You're going to start seeing them again in the fall when the felt season rolls around. I'll show you it. Taupe. This color. This is it's a grayish green. Okay, it's a greenish grayish, brownish gray, greenish gray, totally neutral. It goes fantastic with black, with charcoal, and with navy. It also goes with earth tones, like brown. It goes with colors like very dark aubergine, purples, things like that, eggplant colors. Very few things it doesn't match beautifully with. Everything from jeans to the dressiest, you know, of outfits. It's a great color. Taupe is something I highly recommend, and every taupe is different. There are some taupes that look a little more beige, like this one. This is more of a beigey taupe. This is more of a greeny taupe. This color also will top out a black hat, a black outfit great. You have a black overcoat, a brown overcoat, a gray overcoat, a blue. This will work very well as a neutral hat, as will this. So taupe is a color I sort of say just go for it wholeheartedly. I say go with your taupes. It's a great color. Gray is going to work really well. This is my gray Antonio Borsalino. This is my beige Antonio. For a while, these were my two biggest hats. I felt that if I had this and this, it's all I needed. Something a little earthier, something a little cooler, like a grayish cool gray. Taupe will work for all of your dark overcoats. Navy, gray, charcoal, and black. So if you're a black coat wearing guy, don't go with the black hat. You don't have to. Sometimes you don't want to be that figure all in black with a black fedora. It can be too much. It's just too intense. It's not understated. So you're trying to be fashionable, but elegant. Go with something a little bit lighter, okay? That'll look nice on your face. Match your face nicely, but also complement your dark clothing. Just because you're wearing a black overcoat or charcoal doesn't mean you have to match it with the same color hat. Some people think that that's better because it's matching. You got a hat perfectly for that coat. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's too much. You're in a gangster movie, or you're it looks like overdone. You're the figure all in a navy blue suit with a navy hat. It can be a little bit overdone. You want to keep it subtle, because wearing a fedora, a brimmed hat, to begin with, is a statement in this day and age. It's kind of like gonna separate you from the crowd, and people are gonna look at you and spot you. With a big crowd of people, the guy with the hat will stick out. You don't want to be flaky. You don't want to be a little bit eccentric. Here comes Johnson with the black outfit and the black hat. It can be a little intense. It can also look very, very dressy and very elegant. A black fedora, a black coat, when done right. So I'm not going to say stay away from it, but consider something else. That's what I'm going to say. Most of the time, I'm going to say it's a lot more versatile going with something else, because you don't only wear black, right? There's going to be a lot of months where you're not wearing an overcoat at all. Maybe you're just wearing your shirt, or you're wearing your shirt and your suit, and that's it. So you're not wearing a hat to match your overcoat. You're wearing a hat to match your suit at that time. Seasons change, and you'll be wearing it to match your overcoat in the winter and to match your suit in the fall. And maybe in the spring, when it's getting a little hotter, you're just wearing shirt sleeves and a hat, whatever. But keep it versatile. Black can be sometimes very tough. Now, we talked about the black wide brim hat. I talked about the black short brim hat, which could be really cool. One of my favorite hats that I own is a black 2-inch brim Borsalino. It's one of my favorites. It just looks so cool and so smooth, the 2-inch. I highly suggest it. The Borsalino Antonio will be coming up again in fall. That's the one I showed you, where you can pork pie it really easily, and it takes a nice pork pie because it's a baggy, wide crown. It also takes a nice teardrop. Here's another Antonio. You can teardrop it because it has that nostalgic baggy crown that takes like an old-time, big, wide teardrop. So it's a fantastic hat to play with. You can do all kinds of shapes. You can roll them and stick them in your pocket without any fear, and you're good. You can do that too. You don't have to, but you can do that if you want. I like to do that. Going with a gray hat is always really good. Taupe hats, yes. Gray hats, yes. It's easy. It's generally very successful. Almost nobody regrets it. The gray fedora. Stetson calls it caribou. Caribou for Stetson can mean about 10 different colors. There's not one standard color that's caribou. Their regular gray is caribou. When it's charcoal, it's something else. They call it carbon or something, But when it's gray, they just call it charcoal. They just call it caribou. But there's a million different caribous out there, and it's kind of weird the way they do that, So just remember that, Caribou is like, it's not really a set color. It's basically the regular banker's gray, regular gray hat with the black bands, a standard gray color hat. So That to me is a good choice. It's gonna sometimes read a little bit nostalgic, a little bit old-timey looking, kind of vintagey looking, but in a nice way. A 2-inch brim gray is going to look very Sinatra. A wider brim gray hat, you know, something like this, 2 3/8 or 2.5, will look more gangster movie, Humphrey Bogart, you know, classic, mostly because of the contrasting band, light felt, dark band. So that gives you a real, you know, film noir kind of look. If you're looking for film noir, that's a good way to go. Go with gray. Gray with a dark black, you know, dark band, black preferably, I think is great. Always good to keep the band dark because that's the part that makes contact with your skull right here. You're not touching there, you're not touching here, just here. So when you finally do sweat through a hat, this will take the cloudiness and the salts of your sweat and hide it. If you're wearing a white band or a beige band or a dove gray band, something really light, you're gonna see cloudiness and, you know, like puddles of sweat, like, you know, salt and yellowing and stuff. So get something dark, will hide it. If you actually get salt coming through it, just take a dry brush and just go up this way, okay, and just scrape that salt off. Go in the grains. There's grain there. Where grain has like these vertical lines. So what you want to do is you want to brush upwards. Okay? There's a trick to getting rid of salt on a black band. What you do is you find yourself a brand new sponge. Okay, go to the supermarket, just buy a cheap sponge. Wet it, okay? Regular old tap water, make sure it's clean. Squeeze out the water and then just go up. Okay, where the salt is, you're essentially kind of dissipating it, you're spreading it, so instead of seeing like a little cloud of salt, it just kind of, it spreads it out into a thin that it's pretty much gone. You don't need anything on it but just plain water, and the sponge has to be brand new and clean. And just go upward with the grain and you can get rid of those salt stains. They will disappear. But that's basically telling you it's time to change the band. And it's also time to put some kind of pad in there. Now these things work as pads. You can put them on the inside right against your skin. So in other words, you put it right there so the black cotton pad is just touching your skin. Will it make your hat tighter? Yes, a little bit. So what I do is I cut them down. I use just as much that makes contact with me, you know, that much. And yeah, it'll tighten it up a little, but after you wear it for like a week or so, maybe 5 times, it mats down. This stuff will mat down and get thinner. So the hat starts loosening up again. But using a whole pad might tighten up your hat too much. So yeah, cut a little. Prevention is the only way to keep sweat from your hat. If you notice, none of my hats really have sweat stains, even like the 20-year-old ones. That's because I throw these things in as soon as I see the smallest bit of some kind of sweat. Changing a band is going to work, but it's going to get sweated up again. So, you know, if you want to change your band, that's good. But once you get a new ribbon on there, put some protection in there. This comes between you and the perspiration. I mean, it comes between you and the hat. So the perspiration hits this, it never ever reaches the hat. It becomes a non-issue and your hat can kind of last forever. Just don't grab it here aggressively, okay? Keep your hats upside down. So when you pick it up, you're picking up from the brim. Don't keep your hat like this flat on the table where you grab it there. You wind up getting holes here. That's another reason why hats get thrown out, either sweat stains or holes in the front from grabbing it every day. Okay, rather than being aware of not grabbing it here, just store your hat correctly. Store it upside down, because you don't set yourself up for the grab then. You pick it up, and you pick it up in various places, not that little pinch every time. And the hat never really wears out. There's no holes, ever. Keep it upside down. Watch for those stains. If you get one of these sweatbands from us. $5 investment, make your $300-400 hat last a lifetime instead of like, you know, 5 seasons or whatever. It's a good investment. When it starts getting funky, you peel it out, you put a new one right in its place. Don't pull it out until you have a new one, because it will leave a little bit of residue underneath it, but it's a non-issue, because once you put them in, you're always going to have a pad there. So you just get some extras, and they'll never stop making these. They've been making them for like 26 years at least that I know of, and they'll be here. You know, buy yourself a few. That way you've got a nice fresh one. If it feels a little funky and dirty, peel it off, put another one right in its place. Your hat's nice and fresh, clean, and dry again. All right. Next, brown. Brown hats are going to look a little earthy sometimes. Bigger hats like this, like a 2 3/8 inch or something, they look more kind of earthy to me. They have a slight, like an Indiana Jones kind of vibe to them. For instance, like the Stetson Temple. Let's talk about the Temple by Stetson. All right. This is very Indiana Jones. It's got that IJ look. It's wider than my green hat, but not really. It's kind of more front bigger. It's front wider. Sides are 2 3/8. In the front, it's 2 5/8. So it's kind of the same size, but plus a little more in the front and the back. Going brown is cool, because it gives you an earthy look when you want. You can wear it with your jeans, your suede jacket, your leather jacket, and it looks a little kind of earthy, like natural hiking kind of dude, or, you know, safari adventurer guy with a whip or whatever. It looks laid back. It doesn't look too starchy and Wall Street and stuff, but it also goes fantastically with dress clothes too. If you have brown eyes, dark features, it's a nice look. A black or dark brown band, chestnut brown felt, it just will look good on you. This hat will look nice with a lot of different colors too. You could wear this with your blacks and your charcoals, your khakis, all of your earth tones, and it's fine. You could wear it with your jeans too. Brown hats are really nice. You could wear them with trench coats. You can wear them with suede and corduroy and leather and all kinds of things that are a little bit earthy and autumny, sweaters and stuff. But it's an alternative color that can look authentic, but it's not your typical gray hat or your typical black hat. It's something else. What it really comes down to me, it's like this. Get a hat, color-wise, brim-wise, that you think looks good on your face. If you buy a hat that looks good on you, on your head, on your face, most likely it's going to just match with all your stuff, and you'll be fine that way. That's what it's about, is finding the hat that looks good on the person. You know, look at your eyes, the color of your eyes, and find a hat that, you know, if you have blue eyes or gray eyes or green eyes, colors like blue, aqua, I'm not talking about navy per se, but yeah, navy will work, green, aqua, royal blue, and especially gray, caribou gray, light gray, regular just gray fedoras are going to look good with those light eyes. They're going to just make you, it'll just transcend that vintage film noir look, and it'll give you something else. The person with the light eyes and the light hat, kind of, it all blends together and it looks fantastic. You know, and you've got girls telling you like, wow, that hat is really nice. You look, can I just tell you, you have really nice eyes. And you're like, I do? You know, it's because you chose the right hat, and the hat is making your eyes pop, you know, and you look good. So, you know, think about that. Get a hat that will look good with your eyes. Chestnut brown hat, like a mink colored Temple, will be great for somebody with dark hair and dark eyes. A hat like a gray, some kind of gray 2-inch brim, or a gray 2 3/8 inch brim with somebody with light eyes is going to look fantastic. Or you know, something bluish, aqua-ish, anything like that will look really cool. it's a matter of finding a hat that matches the guy. If you get a hat that looks great on you, most likely the rest will all fall into place. There's no rules that say you have to match your coat or match your suit. The rule is it has to look good with your suit and look good with what you're wearing. It's okay to throw a whole bunch of colors together. If you're wearing jeans and a khaki colored jacket and some kind of sweater and you don't know what to wear, you know, wear the hat that looks good on you, on your face, on your eyes and stuff, and you'll see that it just ties into your outfit very well. So yeah, that's a good one. Buy a hat that looks good on the head, on the person, and worry less about how it's going to match with your stuff. Depending, if you're a very dressy person or if you're a businessman and you're really getting something to, you know, wear with your, you know, your overcoat while you're commuting to work every day, then, you know, okay, all right, I've got this blue overcoat, you know, I got to get a gray hat or something to match it or something, you know. That's important. I found as a rule, a good place to start is just getting a hat that looks dynamite on that person, and the rest just takes care of itself. That's about it. So I guess I'm going to sign off. Maybe I'll plug in the guitar and play a little bit. Yeah, let's play a little bit, all right? Okay. Bye.